Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. I am one of your hosts, Memo, and right beside me, I've got Hoops. How you doing? Happy finals.
What's going on, man? Overall, I've been doing, I'd say, pretty okay to good, like somewhere in between, I guess. Happy finals to you as well. Man, we are winding down into the season. And I will admit, that 1 week of no basketball kind of felt like a long time. Did you think it felt like a long time?
It felt like
Like,
forever.
it it almost felt like as if it was the off season already, Loki. Yeah, it's weird when there's like literally a week without games and then out of nowhere it's like back to basketball we are. But yeah, that is definitely exciting there for sure. Game one was honestly pretty good the way things shaked out, which we will talk about momentarily. Um, yeah, overall I've been doing good for the most part. How you been?
I've been pretty good myself as well. I've talked about before how I work in education, and this week was the last week of school, so I'm free from students and germs and all that. So that's nice. My summer has now begun, which is cool. And yeah, a big week for me, I guess, because not only did we have game one this week, which was the same day as the last day of school. Funny enough, uh, the Switch 2 was released this week. That's cool. I'm not buying it anytime soon. I'll I love Nintendo and Nintendo games. Like we played on my Switch before, so you know how I like video games and stuff. But I'm not gonna buy another Switch until like there's better games. Even though Mario Kart World looks really fun, I'm getting FOMO because I've been seeing a lot of TikTok clips of people playing it and it looks fun. I'm just gonna wait it out. I'm not ready to pay like $600 for a new system and controllers and all that. So I'll wait on that, even though that's fun. And this week for music, a lot of great albums was released. There's some like big mainstream artists that dropped. I don't know if you know the TikToker Addison Rae. She dropped a pop album that I'm sure isn't that good. But I'll give it a listen this weekend to see if I like it. Lil Wayne dropped the Carter 6. I don't know if you heard about that. Everybody's flaming it on Twitter though. Like they're saying this is like the worst
I,
album from Wayne.
oh man. I heard about him dropping it, but I haven't listened to it yet.
I haven't listened to it
So
either. I've heard clips though, and
that's
from the
not good.
clips I've heard, it's
Doesn't
not sounding
sound
good.
good though.
No, and then like I've been following some of his projects as of late, like his mixtapes from the last few years, and those haven't been good. So I'm not surprised that the Carter 6 is ass, but it shouldn't be since it's part of the Carter series, right? Like,
Yeah,
I,
I mean like Carter 5 was pretty good.
yeah, there was some decent songs. I kind of thought it was a little overrated, but there was some decent songs. Like, I think Uproar was on that one. Mona
Uproar. Yeah, that
Lisa.
one was fire.
I like the one
That
with the posthumous XXX Tentacion feature.
yeah.
I thought that was good. I like the Carter 3, bits of the Carter 4, but I've never been a Lil Wayne guy. Not since like middle school. Middle school is when I was like junking Lil Wayne heavy. Were you the same? Were you playing Lil Wayne a lot in
I
middle school or high school?
I feel like I will admit like I was never really like the most hardcore Lil Wayne fan. But I feel like, honestly, a little bit contrary to you, I started to appreciate him more as I got a little older. But usually it would be like listening to, I wouldn't say like back in the day older tracks, but like slightly, like not like his newest albums, shall we say, but like Carter 5, for example, which is like not necessarily new anymore, but not super old. That one I did like, honestly. So I would say, somewhat contrary to you, like I wasn't really super big on him back then. Then I got a little bit more into him as the years went by later.
I remember listening to "How to Love" by Lil Wayne. Are you familiar with that track? I think that was off the
Yeah.
Carter. I don't know which Carter it's
It
from.
was like one of his earlier ones, right?
Uh, is it? I don't know. I'm
Or
getting confused. I don't listen to
yeah.
it that often, so I don't know. But I remember like in middle school I was listening to that and would watch the music video all the time. And my mom liked the song, but once I showed her like the music video, she was like, "How can an ugly man make a song so beautiful?" Just roasting Little
Yeah.
Wayne.
I know that's pretty accurate, honestly. I will admit I wasn't really the biggest fan of that song, low key. I just thought that I mean like I guess it was more so because like it just seemed very different. Lil Wayne, a known rapper that was actually singing. I mean, he didn't do a bad job. Like, I don't know. I just prefer him rapping than singing, honestly.
I mean, most people would, so it makes sense. I don't know why I really liked
Yeah,
that song back then, and I still get like
it
nostalgic
was
for it.
popular.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
popular for sure.
So you're not at fault, and you're not the only one.
Yeah, that's true. True. I would
Yeah.
recommend these three albums now that we're talking about music because I think these three albums were the best, and nobody's talking or it's not mainstream, so like the world isn't talking about it, but like music nerds like me are talking about them, and that is Little Sims Lotus. She is a UK female rapper, and she is one of the best rappers right now. Like think she's like a top five rapper. Honestly, she has classics under her name, and she's really good. She's like this time's Lauren Hill. I would say. Also, Turnstile, they dropped a new album called Never Enough. They're a rock band from uh, Baltimore. And it's very cool, very dreamy. It has some bangers in there as well. And then the last one, I feel like you might like this one, which is the most underground rapper. And his name is McKinley Dixon. And he dropped a jazz rap album called Magic Alive, I believe. And I think he's
Mm.
pretty similar to Kendrick's. If you like To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar, like the All Rights, the King Kunta, stuff like that. You probably will like McKinley Dixon. He raps over a lot of jazz rap production, and it's very out there too. So it could be a little weird and chaotic, but it's definitely something that I think out of those three you probably would like the most.
Yeah, I definitely do like the ring of jazz rap, though. That sounds really cool and unique.
Yeah, like Tribe was definitely a Tribe Called Quest was definitely like one of the pioneers for that. So was De La Soul. If you're familiar with them, they have some great music. So it didn't start with Kendrick, but I think Kendrick's the more recent mainstream artist that would play in that realm. I guess at least into Pippa Butterfly, he kind of strayed away from that sound. But yeah, my favorite album though is the Little Sims one, Lotus. But McKinley Dixon dropped a great album too.
Yes, sir. I'll definitely need to keep those in mind and possibly give a listen.
All right, cool. Enough music talk though. This is a basketball podcast after all, so let's talk about some basketball. Uh, in the agenda, we're gonna talk about Game One, of course, and how crazy that game ended up being. And we're gonna talk about some NBA news. Maybe we'll do something else after, but it depends on time, so we might not. But yeah, let's start with Game One. Thunder versus I was about to say Thunder versus OKC. Thunder versus Pacers at Oklahoma. Hoops. I've been so excited to talk about this game, but I'm gonna have you start things off. How was this game to you? How was the experience, and basically, what were your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so my thoughts on this game was early on, it seemed like there was a clear-cut favorite and a clear-cut team that was better. And then obviously down to the wire, things got really interesting. So, OKC dominated for almost the entire game. They led by as much as 15, and this was early in the fourth when they were up by 15. And then came those Pacers once again with their insane comebacks when they looked dead in the water. Um, they were down by oh, what was it? They were down by like 9 with like 2:40 remaining in the game, right? Something like that. And then they came back and they literally led this game for only zero point 0.3 seconds. And it happened to be the final 0.3 seconds of the game. That is just
So
insanity.
crazy.
Like, can you imagine like trailing the entire game, but your only lead was at the very end? That's like definitely insane. And tough luck for the opposition. But yeah, with zero point 0.3 seconds left, that was when Tyrese Haliburton hit the go-ahead jumper. And another insane comeback by the Pacers and a pretty insane game winner from Tyrese also. Um, Pacers, they had a good amount of balance contributors. Siakam put up 19, 10, and 3. Toppin put up 17, 5, and 2. Turner put up 15 and 9. Tyrese put up 14, 10, and 6. Nembhard put up 14, 4, and 6. Nesmith put up 10, 12, and 1. So Tyrese was having a relatively quiet game, but all of that was forgotten and made up for once he hit the game winner, obviously. Um, so yeah, for OKC, Shea had a great NBA Finals debut performance. 38 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, but unfortunately, it was wasted in an L. That being said, adding on for OKC, J-Dub put up 17, 4, and 6. Lou Dort put up 15, 4, and 1. He also had 4 steals and 2 blocks. Caruso put up 11, 6, and 2, along with 3 steals and 2 blocks. So, a few fun facts from this game. First one, fun fact number 1 being that there have been 3 fourth quarter comebacks of 15 plus points in the NBA Finals since 1971, and 2 of them were led by Rick Carlisle coach teams. So the previous one was June 2nd, 2011, Game 2, when the Mavericks came back from down 15, was like 5 minutes left against the Heat to win 95-93. And then the second one was yesterday, Game 1 of the 2025 NBA Finals, when the Pacers came back from down 15 in the fourth quarter to steal Game 1 against OKC. So mighty impressive there. To say the least, Rick Carlisle knows how to lead his units to never give up. So shout out to him. Fun fact number 2. The Pacers have 4 comeback wins with less than 5% win probabilities this season, or this playoffs. So one of them was yesterday, NBA Finals Game 1. They had a 3.6% chance of winning when they were down by like 9 with 2:42 left in the fourth. Another game was Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 against the Knicks. They had a 1.2% chance of winning when they were trailing with 58 seconds left in the fourth. And then Eastern Conference semifinals against the Cavs and Cleveland had a 4.1% chance with 57 seconds in the fourth quarter, and they pulled off the improbable. And what really kicked off their improbable run was Eastern Conference Finals Round 1, Game 5 against the Bucks, when they had a 2.1% chance with 39 seconds left. They were down like 7 or whatever that was, and they came back. So what a playoffs run by the Pacers. even if they do not win it all and they fall short, it was one to be remembered. They literally have every single round against every single opponent come up with some insane, improbable comeback. So, yeah, that's definitely crazy work by them. 3 out of the 4 being on the road, which is even more crazy. So yeah, to say the least, this Pacers team is a gritty bunch and came back once again dead out the water. And so honestly, my first thought was I thought that this was reminiscent to game 1 versus the Nuggets when the Thunder lost that game off of the Aaron Gordon three-pointer. First off, both of them were off buzzer beaters. Tough luck there. Another one is both of them were home games. And I don't remember too much about game trends of game 1 against the Nuggets, but I think OKC had a little bit of a lead too, and they also blew it. So, yeah, deja vu on that part. That being said, I mean, I think OKC probably be fine. All they need to do is bounce back when game 2 at home, win one road game, and then they get home court advantage back. Obviously, it's not necessary. I don't know if it's going to be easy sledding. This Pacers team has shown time and time again they never quit. They're never dead in the water. However, I think OKC should be fine. But without further ado, I will now hand over the reins to Memo. What were your thoughts on Game 1 of the NBA Finals?
First of all, that was one of the most exciting viewing experiences I've ever had watching the finals. Like, I was literally screaming out loud in disbelief seeing Tyrese Haliburton make that deep 2-point shot over Kaysen Wallace. I keep messing up his name.
Flawless.
Wallace. Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, that's crazy, and the fact that he was able to get a game winner in every series in this playoffs is legendary. Like, I don't know who had like the most stock rise up in NBA playoff history more than Tyrese Haliburton. Obviously it's recency bias, but like, who's had a run like this where they had like so many game winners, and a lot of people were underestimating them and didn't believe in them, and somehow the Pacers kept proving them wrong. Tyrese kept proving them wrong. This is very similar to like the Dirk run when he won his chip, beating or sweeping our Lakers, and taking down the Heatles in the finals. Like, if the Pacers pull this off, if they somehow win the finals, well, it's up there with the Mavs Dirk run. It's really going to be one of the best finals run in NBA history. But yeah, although Tyrese deserves the flowers, the game ball, even for just making that game winner, even though he had kind of a mid game before that shot, the rest of the team did their thing. They cut down the lead due to their 3-point shooting, which is something that the Thunder actually struggle with. They are great at packing the paint. They're so scrappy. They will refuse to let you score from inside, but they let threes go, and that's what happened in the fourth quarter. Miles Turner had like 2 threes. One of them was a bank shot. Nembhard cooked SGA in a 3-pointer. I believe Neesmith made a 3. Obi Toppin made a 3 in the fourth, I believe. And all of these threes accumulated in a short time span, and was able to cut down the lead a good amount. A lead that I really thought wasn't going to be cut at all. Like, the Thunder were so dominant, especially in the first half, where they caused the Pacers to have 19 turnovers in a single half. I believe the stat was that they never had more than 12 in a half. I could be wrong. about that. I'm not seeing that in my notes at the moment, but either way, the Pacers aren't necessarily known for turning the ball over. So the fact that they had 19 turnovers in the first half was insane. And that is definitely due to the Thunder defense and the decision that Mark Dagnall made to start Casey Wallace instead of Hartenstein. I think that helped a lot with guarding Pascal Siakam, who ended up doing a good job. He did lead the team with 19 points. But yeah, those Thunder plays were scrappy at the beginning. Throughout the game, I was, forming my arguments on why Lou Dort deserved the game ball for making 5 threes in this game and having crazy blocks and steals. But that ended up being for nothing because, again, the Pacers went on a crazy 3-point run. Not just threes. They had decent defensive moments, like Pascal Siakam blocking SGA on one side and then grabbing an offensive board and putting it back on the other side. That was huge for that moment. And yeah, speaking of SGA, he had a great performance. Like, it was a rough start in the first half, but it was in the second where he was really picking it up. It had 38 points, but I wish he made that 40th point when he had the opportunity to extend the lead to, what was it, 3? Shooting that fadeaway. I forgot over who, but he shot this fadeaway midi and missed it. That's when the Pacers were able to get the rebound, get the ball to Tyrese, and he just got to his spot and made the game-winning shot with 0.3 seconds. That's crazy. That means that the Thunder led the game for 47 minutes, 59 seconds, and 59.7 seconds, right? Does the math check out? Like, that's insane. That is crazy. You were muted, by the way. But that sucks. That always sucks if you're like a Thunder fan watching that game, watching them dominate for so long just to lose in the final 0.3 seconds. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy. And yes, you were correct that the math did check out. 59.7, I'm no, 47.7 seconds out of the 48-minute game. That's crazy.
That's really, really crazy. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I guess shout out to Obi Toppin. He started the game rough. I had 2 sloppy turnovers in like the first half, but ended up having, what was it, 17 points. Like, he was just getting buckets after buckets eventually. And I felt like Obi wasn't the only one that was like screwing things up. It really seemed like the Pacers were pretty nervous in the first half, in the first quarter. They got the jitters for being in the finals, and I think that's partially the reason why they turned the ball over so much. And the biggest reason why is because the Thunder are a great defensive team, but I believe part of the reason was because they were so nervous. Even Tyrese talked about how nervous he was because he was mic'd up. But yeah, incredible game here. I guess the only person I really thought didn't do too well was Chet Holmgren for the Thunder. I think he started his game off with a 3 and then ended the game with only 6 points and 6 rebounds. That's going to be an issue. Like, the Thunder are a bigger team, yet the Pacers out-rebounded them. And with Chet being the tallest guy there, you would think he'd get more than 6 rebounds. But, he's not the strongest guy either. So it might be tough for him. That I think that's part of the reason why he ended up getting benched too, um, because he wasn't having a good shooting night. He wasn't rebounding the ball. The defense is always there, but uh, at one point, Mark Dagnall decided to play small, and didn't have Hartenstein or Chet on the floor. That probably will change in game two. I think they're gonna play more. I would hope Hartenstein play more too. He had a really good game off the bench. Um, so we'll see if Kaysen will continue starting or Hartenstein will. I, I guess we'll find out. It was also interesting the fact that Mark Dagnall made that move to begin with, just making changes before the series even started. Um, a, a lot, like Richard Jefferson said yesterday, that you could tell that the Pacers are in Mark's head. You know, they're a little nervous, even though they shouldn't be. They are the number one team in the league, but I guess now they should. Now they should, since they're down 1-0. So yeah, I guess that's something to look out for, whether or not Hartenstein will start again, whether or not Chet will have a good game in the follow up. Um, but yeah, is there anything that you think the Thunder should change moving forward, or you just want to wait and see what happens in game two, which is on Sunday? I don't want to wait so long. After seeing that amazing game on Thursday, waiting, what, 3 days before the next game is absurd.
Yeah, I would say wait and see, because I feel like a lot of what went down in game one at the end was more so on the bad luck side than like maybe bad decisions per se. Um like for example, I feel like their game plan for much of the game was good until the final like 2:45 in the game. And obviously they were still up by 9 at that point, and then just going down to the wire, they just couldn't finish, and the Pacers went on an insane run. I would say just do what they were doing for most of the game until the final 3 minutes would probably work out fine for them, honestly. But yeah, I would say probably play it out and see what happens would be one way to go.
Yeah, that
What
makes
about,
sense.
do you think they need to make changes or adjustments?
Uh, I think moving on with Kaysen for like one more game would be a good idea, because it did work, as you said, in the first half when OKC was dominating. It worked, but I think the second half of the game, maybe Hartenstein should start. Maybe the second half. I think that would make sense. Um, I will see, I guess. Another thing to look out for is SGA's free throws. He didn't have too many in this game. Will that increase in the next game? Like, he was able to get 38 points with, I forgot how many free throw attempts. I think it was 6, or he made 6, something like that. So, if he's been able to score that amount without those free throws, um, that's that's crazy. But he definitely wasn't an issue. It's just needed some other guys to step up a little bit too. Like J Dub was kind of mid in the first half, but did step it up in the second half. Chet was very disappointing. Um, do you remember last year when he was a rookie, how people were saying that he should have been an all-star his rookie year, and we're trying to make arguments for it? And looking at
Uh-huh.
that, or
Okay.
remembering that now, is kind of crazy.
Ah, it is I guess how the tables turn, right?
Yeah. So it, I'm sure he'll be an all-star someday, but 6 points in the finals is not how all-stars should be playing. So
Agreed.
yeah, I guess we'll see what happens in game two. I'm super excited. Um, and let me ask you this because I know we don't really have a horse in this race. We're Lakers fans, and these aren't like ops. These aren't teams where necessarily like I don't know enemies with rivals. I guess maybe you could argue Pacers since we faced them in the finals before. But then again, we face OKC in the playoffs too,
The
right?
playoffs twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, we beat them once, they beat us once, so low-key maybe more rivals with OKC, but
I guess. So
um
I was just gonna
still don't
ask.
mind.
Like, I know we both predicted that OKC was gonna win. I believe in six. I think you said six, right? Or
I think I did. I think I said six. Yeah, six.
six. Okay, that's what I said as well. But which team would you rather have win? Which one were you rooting for on Thursday? Were you rooting for OKC or
Um,
Pacers?
I was kind of rooting for OKC, and I will say this: I'm kind of like conflicted because like if you're talking about like who I want winning, there's like so many different aspects that I would like go one way or the other. For example, if you're talking franchises itself, I'm rooting for OKC. I over the span of history, I've just been a more bigger OKC fan than Indiana fan. Never had anything really against Indiana, but I just like OKC more. Another aspect, if you're talking about which player would I want to see have a ring most, I'd honestly probably go with Tyrese Haliburton. So then that would then lean towards the Indiana side. Um, but then if you're talking about like who do I think deserves it more? That's also hard to say because like I low key feel like the Pacers team after all those crazy comebacks low key deserve it like a lot. But then at the same time like OKC has such a passionate fan base that after all that support that they've given throughout the years from the thick and thin, those fans deserve it a lot. So like there's definitely like so many like different factors that I lean one way or the other. If I were to pick at the end of the day, maybe I would still root for OKC more just because like I'm typically a bigger fan of their franchise throughout history. Um That'd be cool because like technically the Supersonics championship counts as the Thunder's history, but because they were not in OKC, I literally don't really count it as a Thunder championship. So this would be, in my eyes, their first real championship. So, on the contrary, obviously for the Pacers, it would also be their first NBA championship. They won ABA championship, I believe, but not NBA championship. So kind of a similar situation, whereas like they won before technically, but it was like a different era or a different city. So it just doesn't feel like it. So I would say probably if I were to pick, probably I would still pick the Thunder, but kind of neutral. But I would say probably I pick Thunder if I were to pick. Um, but what about you? Do you have a preference one way or the other?
I was definitely rooting for the Pacers, mostly because I just like an underdog story. You know, you didn't nobody expected the Pacers to be in the finals, but they're in the finals now, and they won Game One, in a very fun fashion. So yeah, I was definitely rooting for them, even though like watching the game, the whole time I was like, okay, this is gonna be a boring series. The Thunder are just gonna wipe the floor with them. I even got sleepy. I think in the second quarter, like my eyelids were getting heavy. I was getting sleepy watching the game, but no, it ended up being very fun. And yeah, I was so hyped watching Tyrese make that shot. So I guess you're preferring more OKC. I'm preferring more Pacers. So that's pretty interesting. That's cool. Even though we both do think OKC are gonna win in six, right? You still is that still set in your mind? Like your mind hasn't changed at all?
I definitely still predict OKC to win. I I don't know if I'm 100% confident in in six part, but I think they'll probably win it. And the only reason why I say this is because like winning game six on the road against a team with no quit is low key. I mean, they can do it, but it might be a challenge. I feel like if it was the Pacers to win, they would probably win in six and close it out at home in Indiana. If the Thunder were to win, I could see six, maybe seven, but I'm just gonna go with six for now, honestly, because OKC is still winning.
If there was a team to win on the road at
It would
uh
be
in
Indiana.
at Indiana, it would be OKC because
Ah,
they have a crazy record against the East. I think they only lost once against the East this year. Now twice with this latest game. I don't remember if it was like away or all together. I forgot the stat, but they had a crazy record against every single Eastern team this year. Um, so if any team could win on the road in the finals, it'd be OKC. But then again, they have an incredible home record, and they were still able to lose this one. So who knows? The only way to find out is by watching these games. And yeah, I'm so hyped. So hyped. I think I'm doing something on Sunday. I forgot what I'm doing or where I'm going.
oh,
But I'm going to try to pull up Streamies to just put my headphones in and watch the game there because
I
there's no way
I
I'm missing
think
it.
I think I'm gonna be doing something on Sunday too. So tough luck, tough luck.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I can at least like catch the end or like track the score.
Right.
Or yeah, but yeah, bad timing to say the least on both parts for us.
Horrible timing.
Um, yeah, but I'm sure it'll be a great game again. Tables turned from a Indiana must win potential to a OKC must win game. I mean, like similarly, like if there's any team that could come back from a down 2-0 after losing two home games, it would probably be OKC. But I'm sure that even they know they would not like to put themselves in that
Oh
situation.
no,
So
like that's still pretty hard to do. Win four in a row.
it is, yeah. So yeah, I would say it's a must win for OKC
Yeah,
and would be great to win for Indiana, but not an absolute must win for them, obviously.
right. Is there anything else you want to talk about in regards to Thunder versus Pacers?
I would say not too much at the moment, honestly. I think that it was a really good game one that was definitely a bit shocking at the end, but overall did not fail to disappoint. Similar to you, I was low key thinking like, is this gonna be another boring snooze fest finals? Thankfully, not. It hasn't. Game one was not the case. So hopefully the rest of the series will be just as good as game one was. If so, this might be one of the better finals we've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Because the
Because
last
if you
few
think
haven't been
about
that
it,
interesting.
yeah, last year's was bad. The previous year's was bad. Um, Warriors and the Celtics one was a little bit better, but still iffy, I guess. The Suns and the Bucks one was honestly pretty good.
I like that one.
And
Yeah,
obviously, yeah, Lakers and Heat, obviously recency bias, so we enjoyed it.
banger.
For the NBA fans one, they probably did not enjoy it. Obviously, because the Lakers won, but yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, this should be hopefully the rest of the series just as good as game one was.
Yeah, I really hope so. I guess this is a good time to move on to some NBA news. We've got a few stories that happened this week, so we'll go over it. Starting with some coaching news. The biggest coaching news being that Tom Thibodeau, former coach of the New York Knicks, has been fired. He started coaching for the Knicks in the 2020-2021 season. In that season, he won Coach of the Year, which I forgot about because the Knicks were a lottery team. They had a 21-45 record, but the first year that Tibbs was there, they won 41 games, lost 31 times. So, uh, yeah, Tom Thibodeau got fired after leading this team to the first Eastern Conference Finals in decades, right? Like, it's been a while since the Knicks
Yeah,
were there. So, what were your thoughts when this news happened?
I thought it was a dumb move because like Tom Thibodeau, I think is a pretty good head coach. Obviously he changed the culture in New York. Now, granted, not a fan of his. What is it like? It's technically like a 6-7 man rotation he'd be using, something like that. A fan of that because like it wears the hell out of players. But at the end of the day, they were winning games, and as you mentioned, this is the furthest they've been since like 70s, 80s. I know, oh no, my bad, my bad. I think they did make the conference finals or finals in the 90s, something like that, right? I think they played against the Rockets in the finals one year and they lost against Hakeem, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was in the 90s. But yeah, it's been a long time to say the least. Tibbs just changed the culture in New York. They went from bottom dweller losers to respectable, most of the time make the playoffs team. So he changed the culture. And when he finally gets them to the peak of the Thibodeau era, they decide to get rid of him. It was a head scratcher. So yeah, I didn't like that move for their part. Then you see, I'm sure you probably saw some of the candidates, right, as like possible replacements. Um, I saw two of them were Mike Brown and Luke Walton. Which it's all right, I guess. Mike Brown was not horrible. He had a good year in Sacramento, and then obviously the ending wasn't good. Luke Walton, I do not think is a good head coach, so I'm not so sure about that one. I did hear about like Knicks are also trying to slay like current coaches that are already under contract, which is gonna be tricky. Like Jason Kidd was one of them. I heard that they're gonna try to pursue Ime Udoka as well, but it's like, do you think he's gonna leave Houston? I don't know about that because their team is pretty good there too. So yeah, I don't know about the Knicks. Quite honestly though, like I don't think Jason Kidd would really be an upgrade if they do get him. I would even argue that's a downgrade to be honest. Um, and then Ime, I think that's a long shot. And I don't remember who the other candidates were, but overall, I did not like this move. So, what were your thoughts on the Knicks firing Tibbs?
Usually, when a coach gets fired, I'm like always on the coach's side, but I kind of understand this one. Like, yeah, Tibbs was great for the Knicks. Like, they got so much better once he started coaching for this team. They, you know, were a lottery team, got back to the playoffs with Julius Randle being their best player. That's kind of crazy. That's impressive. They had consecutive 50 plus win seasons. They just kept better and better over the years, got further and further in the playoffs. But like in the playoffs, he, due to the fact that he's so stubborn and won't let like any of the bench play, I think that did affect or did lead to the firing because instead of adapting to what was going on in like the Pacers series, trying out different lineups and different schemes, he just, for the most part, just let the usual lineups, the usual players do their thing until basically it was too late. Like he started throwing in bench players in what was how many games did it go to? Uh, 6.
Against the Yeah, 6.
So in game five, that's when he started throwing in other players, and it was working in game five, but not so much in game six. But yeah, he wasn't really doing much other than just playing his starters, which is good to win games, especially in the regular season. But uh, you gotta play smarter in the playoffs, and you could tell that Rick Carlisle was just out coaching Tibbs out there. So I think this move was made because the Knicks didn't believe they could go even further with Tibbs as the head coach. And yeah, like they probably need someone to help with the offense because right now the offense seems like you either give the ball to Brunson or give the ball to Cat. There's really nothing else that's going on there. So that's why I'm not too upset if they like get like a Mike Brown. I guess like he did a lot for the Kings, and the Kings became like the best offensive team in the league when they were good for that one season. Uh, Mike Malone was another name mentioned. Thoughts on that?
I honestly would think be a pretty good hire, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly.
Um, I mean, I will say this. Obviously Denver firing him was definitely still questionable, but then obviously when you saw what David Adam was able to do, you're low-key thinking maybe they knew what's up because he like was really impressive during their playoff run. But not to say of anything, I think that Mike Malone is still a good head coach. So honestly, like if they do pick up Mike Malone, I would say that is an upgrade over Tibbs for sure. So honestly, I'm for their sake, I'm hoping they pick up Mike Malone. That would be nice. Slightly shying away from the Knicks, but back on topic to Tibbs. I saw this one post from a Chicago Bulls tweet saying, "Bring back Tibbs. We have not clearly not recovered since letting go of him." I mean, low key, maybe they should do it to be honest, because like as far as the Bulls go, not wrong. They literally haven't been like very relevant since they got rid of Tibbs. So maybe they'll be good again if they brought back Tibbs.
The Bulls
But
don't need Tibbs to help their franchise. They need God because God, that franchise is just cooked. They don't know how to run a team. They need more than Tibbs.
yeah,
They need the Father, the
yeah.
Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I feel like their peak is play-in tournament at this point, which all they've been doing the last few years. Play-in tournament, lose in the play-in tournament. That's tough. But yeah, I would say Knicks candidates, probably their best option would be Mike Malone, in my opinion. Would you say so, or do you think there's another guy that would probably be better?
In a way, he's similar to Tibbs. Like he likes to play his guys. That was a huge issue with Denver. They were annoyed that he kept playing Westbrook instead of like one of the younger guys. So, in a way, that's like Tibbs. Like Tibbs is pretty stubborn himself. He likes to play his guys, the starters mainly. Rarely switches things up. So I don't know. Like I do think Mike Malone is a good coach, even though he annoys me so much. But yeah, I have no idea who could be like the perfect replacement for uh, this Knicks coaching position. So honestly, I have no clue. I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I agree. We shall wait and see. But yeah, hopefully they make the right candidate because honestly, I do like the Knicks as a team, and I do wish the best for them. Low key, I mean, next season Celtics probably won't go too far without Tatum. But in the big picture, definitely would be nice to keep the top competitors from prevent that team from having any chance of winning anything ever again would be nice. And I think Knicks are definitely one of their top competitors in the East. So, yeah, definitely wish the best for them and their head coaching decision.
All right, we'll see uh, what happens there. There was a decision made in Phoenix for their coaching position. Would you like to go over that one, Hoops?
Yeah, we'll go over that one. So, earlier this week, the Phoenix Suns made the decision to fire. I mean, no, they made a decision to hire former Cleveland Cavaliers assistant Jordan Ott as the franchise's new head coach. Ott has been an NBA assistant since 2012 and has a strong background of offensive and defensive creativity, player development, and communication. So, obviously, this is his first time being an NBA head coach. However, seeing that he has the experience of being coaching for 13 years now, seemed to really have caught the eye of the Suns when making this decision. So, personally, I don't know much about Jordan Ott to really have a say in this, but I guess we shall see because we have seen assistants that have ended up being great head coaches, and we have seen assistants become atrocious head coaches. I'm looking at you, Darvin Ham. Yeah. So I guess time will tell.
Yeah, I honestly don't know much about him, so I don't really have much to say. Uh, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't really believe this is gonna change much. I think the Suns are just cooked. They just another team that needs Jesus. You know, another team that needs God to lead them,
This
because
is this is literally their fourth head coach in 3 years, which is pretty funny. I mean, if you think about it, because they fired Monty Williams in the summer of 22, which then they hired Vogel. Oh no, it was 23, I think, right? So that was like what the fuck? So then literally it's like barely 2 years then. So if they fired Monty in summer 23, that's when they hired Vogel. And then last year they fired Vogel to hire Bud. And then this year they fired Bud to hire Ott. So that's literally four head coaches technically within 2 years, even if one of them was barely fired at the tip and one of them was barely hired recently. Yeah. To say the least, the Suns are definitely in shambles, and I agree with you. I don't see this like being a sudden franchise saving move or nothing. I think that they're definitely a cook franchise. At this point, they should probably just accept the rebuild, to be honest. Unload, give up KD, give up Booker, and stockpile on picks. Do what OKC did and hope that they can go through the draft eventually.
yeah, I know there's rumors about Durant being traded. I also heard that they really wish to move on from Bradley Beal, but obviously that can't happen because he has a no trade clause. Just him and LeBron are the only two players with a no trade clause. That's insane. But yeah, Bradley
Pretty
Beal
funny.
is kind of ruining that franchise low key, but like get that bag,
Yeah.
dude. Honestly, like
Yeah.
good for
Suns
you.
Suns literally have no one to blame but themselves for that one.
Oh, for sure. Uh, ever since Matt Ishbia started, uh, or became their owner, they just threw shit on the wall, hoping something will stick. But no, there's just shit on the wall. There's just shit everywhere. That's what ended up happening. So yeah, prayers to the Suns. Prayers to the Suns fans out there because it's not gonna be pretty the next few years. I was actually kind of interested when you said that they should trade Booker as well. Like, obviously, you'll get a lot for trading Booker, but obviously, like, he's a homegrown guy. That's like the one dude that's still young that they probably would like to keep. But if they want picks, if they really, really want to rebuild, then yeah, I agree with you. You gotta trade him.
Yep, definitely agree. Like home build, homegrown, you don't want to trade the guy due to popular um popularity and whatnot. But ultimately, if you just believe that this team is not gonna do anything, not gonna go anywhere with the current core, then I guess the saying goes, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, I feel like the Suns are definitely not really gonna go far. They will they be able to make the playoffs this time? I mean, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Um, we'll see. But I think that they're definitely gonna probably have to at least move on from KD and then consider moving on from Booker.
Yeah, I agree. But I think this is a good time to move on to the next story. We've got a few more. We actually have uh, kind of a lot to talk about today, surprisingly, with one game of basketball this whole week. But yeah, let's talk about new All Star format, the format that's gonna save the All Star game finally, finally. And yeah, this was confirmed by Adam Silver when he was at uh, an interview with the Breakfast Ball podcast. And in this interview, they asked him whether or not they could consider doing USA versus World. And he said yes. This is a quote from Silver. So next year, as part of our new media deals, the All Star game returns to NBC where it was when we were younger. And it so happens that next season will be smack in the middle of the Winter Olympics. So they kind of wanted to do the USA versus World thing because during the time that the All Star game is happening, it's also the Winter Olympics, which obviously have a bunch of different countries facing each other in different sports. So it kind of like, I don't know, relates the two things in a way. Um, this was teased before in like Rising Star games. Like I forgot the years, but like I remember the iconic shot that Luca made from half court against when he was Team World and Trey Young was Team USA, and they had that cool moment where they just watched the ball go down together. So they've tried. So that happened during the USA versus World Rising Stars event. So they've tried this before. I do remember seeing how the USA players didn't really care about playing, while the world players actually like tried pretty hard. So I wonder if that is gonna happen within this All Star game. But as someone that does not like the All Star game in general, what are your thoughts on this one? Does this intrigue you at all, or do you think it's just gonna be buns?
Um, I'm gonna have to see it before I can speak, honestly. At this very moment, I must say I respect the effort, but I'm gonna have to see results before I will say that it convinces me, honestly. Like, because as you mentioned, when they had the Rising Stars thing in the past or whatnot, it seemed like the Team World tried a lot harder than Team USA. Hopefully that's not the case this time. Hopefully both sides try equally as hard. But yeah, I must say I'm gonna have to see the improvements before I actually um and change my mind on the All-Star game intake. So I guess at the moment it doesn't really phase me too much.
Yeah, to me, I like the on paper. I like the idea. I think this would be really cool to see. Um, but like, I have a lot of question marks. Like, just the selection overall for the All Star games. Are we gonna have more snubs than usual? Because I'm assuming there's gonna be more players on the USA side that deserves to be All Stars that might not make it. Well, on
Yeah.
the world side, the starting five is gonna be crazy, assuming everybody's healthy, which is another thing. Like, what if we need a replacement? Are we gonna throw in? This is the first foreign player that came to mind Pirtle into the game just because he's foreign. Like because there's not that many elite all stars, I guess, for the world. Like the starting five is insane. Luka, Shea, Giannis, Jokic. Assuming Embiid is healthy, we could throw in Embiid. Unless he wants to jump ships like the Olympics and go to Team USA, then that might happen. We got Victor Wembanyama. He's gonna be good. And then we got some fringe all stars like Pascal Siakam. I'm sure Franz Wagner might make it if he's healthy. Lauri Markkanen. Domantas Sabonis has been snubbed for years, so that's 10. Jamal Murray might make his first one with this format. Who else? Like I feel like we're starting to run out of guys, and this is assuming all of these guys are healthy and ready to play for the All-Star game. If like two of those guys are injured, they're gonna struggle finding replacements, right? Or can you think of more?
Not at the moment, but maybe if I did the research, I'll find more.
So
But now that I think about it, low key, I feel like low key, what you said is reasonable in terms of like the hard to find the players part. I feel like at the end of the day, um, USA is one country, and then world is like any other country combined. I'm sure they'll find a way to make it work. At the moment, I can't really think of the list, but I'm sure like maybe if we did like a deep dive, possibly we'll find the players that qualify more.
are they
I
gonna
don't know.
do some cheese like this year and have like Cat be in Team World because his parents are from the actually I forgot where they're from. Uh, they're from somewhere. Or I
Is it
know
Dominican Republic?
I
I
think
don't
so.
know.
I think so. Or I know Paulo. I think his like mom or dad. One of them is Italian. Are they gonna throw him in
Yeah,
Team World because one of his parents is from Italy? Like, are
maybe.
are they gonna do that? Maybe I don't know, but I feel like
Depends,
that's
honestly.
pushing it a little bit. I'm like you. I'm gonna need to see it to believe it, and I'm just very curious about the selection process. So I don't know. We'll see. Uh, imagine Kyle Anderson is playing because didn't he play for China?
That would be so hilarious.
That'd be so random. Any more thoughts on this, or should we move on?
I don't really have much other thoughts on this, honestly. I probably won't watch it, to be honest.
Yeah, you're gonna make me watch it and do the solo All Star podcast again.
I mean, look, if you're the only one that knows what to say and I have an absolutely clueless idea what to say, maybe we'd be better off going that route. Maybe we'll
Fair,
see when the time comes. But
fair. I get.
um, yeah.
What are you gonna do if, like, for some reason, this podcast actually does well, and we're like forced to like go to the games?
Oh,
Like, we get
I
paid to
mean,
watch the game.
shit. At that point, I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. Maybe, maybe we go in person and our outtake is completely different. We're gonna be like, wow, this is the greatest basketball game I've ever watched. Even better than Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals. Man, that would be hilarious. Such a reach, but I mean, like, that would be funny.
That would be funny. Okay, let's move on and talk about some jerseys. The Magic are rebranding, so not only are their jerseys different, but they have a new logo, they have a new court that they're gonna play on, and new jerseys, which is the exciting part because they look clean. They look great. They're going back with a throwback vibe, but with a modern twist, with the classic pinstripes. That's what the people wanted. The pinstripes back with the Orlando Shack days, you know. We got the white pinstripe jersey, the blue pinstripe jersey, and this pretty cool black one with like a slanted blue block, I guess. Um, they have one of them says Magic, or two of them says Magic. The black and white one says Magic. The blue one says Orlando, and they replace one of the vowels with the star. That I love. I love when they incorporate the stars. I really like the jersey they had a few years ago. I think it was a throwback too, where it was like covered with stars. I don't know if you remember that. I think it was a city jersey. I don't know, but Paulo like wore it, and I thought it was like the sickest jersey ever. I would buy a Paulo Banchero jersey if uh if it was that star one. So the jerseys to me are fire. The logo's kind of lame because it's just a basketball. I heard like the NBA wants to start making all these teams have a circular basketball logo, like the Nets, like Orlando now, like who else does that? Uh, there's more. I can't think of them.
Wizards, right? Don't they have a circular basketball?
I think so. The Raptors do. So around
Yeah.
those realms, I don't know if that's actually
Honestly,
gonna happen
I
because you know the Lakers logo is so iconic that they're not gonna change that.
honestly, I honestly I don't like the idea of trying to make every team's logo have a similar format. I prefer them that all have a unique look.
Yeah, me too. I think it's easier for like the graphics and profile pictures and stuff like that. That's my only guess, but yeah, it's kind of lame. But what about the jerseys? What do you think about the jerseys?
Oh, I love the jerseys. I think it's a lot better than the jerseys they were wearing. Because quite honestly, the jerseys they were wearing to me were pretty mediocre, especially when they got rid of the pinstripe on the Blues jersey. I didn't like that. But that being said, I like these jerseys a lot. If I were because I love how they're bringing back the throwback look, like dating back to like the Shaq days, Penny Hardaway, and all that. If I were to rank these jerseys, kind of tricky, low key, but I think I will still go blue my favorite because I feel like that's the most iconic for Magic. So I would probably say blue, black, and then white last, just because white is plain and bland. Like the design here is cool, but because white is a plain color, I think I would say black over white. So blue, black, white. What about you? How would you rank these three jerseys from favorite to least?
Exact same order: blue, black, white. Part of me was thinking
Alright.
maybe putting black over blue, but the blue one is more
I thought about it.
iconic.
I thought about putting black number one also, but then I realized one, the blue is more iconic, and two, I guess like the line separating the blue top and the black rest of the jersey looks. I mean, I guess it's cool, but like it looks a little bit more off versus like the full-on solid color pinstripe. That's why I ultimately chose the blue over the black. But to say the least, though, I still think that one's really cool. Overall, all of these are good.
Yeah. But you're just not a fan of the new
New
logo, right?
rebrand. Um, Not a huge fan. I feel like the new logo. I mean, I'm gonna be real. I don't 100% remember what the new logo looked like. Is it just the same logo as that one in the middle of the shorts? Basketball? Oh wait. I do remember it. I do remember it. Yeah. Sorry. Um, I'm not a huge fan of it because I saw this one meme comparing the Magic logo to the Raptors logo, and it said corporate is asking you to find the difference between these two pictures. And that one meme from The Office, I think, it's the same picture. So yeah, kind of accurate. So yeah, I honestly not a fan of the logo. The jerseys, W.
Yeah, I agree. How would you rate this like rebrand that they're doing out of like 10?
Um, honestly, I feel like the jerseys outdo the lame logo. To be honest, I would say I give them like 8.5.
Me too. Me too. I was gonna say 8. Yeah.
Ah, like quite honestly, like at the end of the day, if I were to buy merch, I would probably just try to get merch not with the logo, and then it would be cool. So at the end of the day, I feel like they would be more known for the jerseys, the logo. Well, actually, that's debatable because when you see the team's branding, it'll probably be mostly advertised by the logo. Then when you see the team play, you'll look at them from their jerseys. Me personally, I look into the jerseys more than the logo. Obviously, both of them are equally as important for the branding identity, but yeah, I would say overall in this case, the jerseys outruled the logo. So yeah, 8.5.
Fair. Very fair. Uh,
Mhm.
should we continue the jersey talk with our final story of the day?
Yes, sir. We can go ahead and do just that.
All right, you want to go over it?
Yes, sir. So, NBA has revealed that there will be 5 teams to receive classic jerseys for the 2025-2026 NBA season, that being the Philadelphia 76ers, Dallas Mavericks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Memphis Grizzlies. And they have revealed these jerseys already, and to say the least, I think that these are some pretty good throwback jerseys. Now, granted, some of these teams I think have better throwback jerseys than the ones that they selected. But instantly, I think the number one W to me was the Sixers bringing back the Allen Iverson era black,
Oh yeah,
and the Timberwolves bringing back the Kevin Garnett era black with the Christmas tree trim collar neck.
fire.
Those two, yes, sir. I love those two. The rest of them, so the Cleveland navy blue jersey from the LeBron era, those are cool, but me personally, I prefer the red ones from the LeBron era. Like LeBron's first game when they played against the Kings, they wore red. I like that red jersey better than navy blue jersey. That's all I'm gonna say. Overall, I think this is still a decent jersey. Um, the Mavs green jersey. So they brought this back as a throwback not too long ago. I think it was the 2021-22 season. The shortened year no, 2020-2021 season. The shortened season during the COVID year. They wore these jerseys. So it was literally like only 5 years ago that they bring it back. Kind of like these jerseys. I don't know if I would say they're the best Mavericks jersey, but I'd say fine. And then as far as these Grizzlies black jerseys with the teal and red side collar trim, I guess these are okay to me. Not my favorite Grizzlies jersey. I would have honestly preferred if they brought back the Vancouver Grizzlies teal jersey than this, to be honest. And I feel like that would that would fit the scheme better. Is like Allen Iverson Sixers jersey and the Kevin Garnett Timberwolves jersey. Um, I mean, I get it. That was Vancouver, not Memphis. At the end of the day, though, these are throwback jerseys. So I feel like it'd only be fitting if they brought back the best one. So yeah, overall, I would say most of these are good. A few of them, I wish they would have picked a different one instead. But Memo, what were your thoughts on these 5 jerseys that are gonna be coming to the league as throwback editions next year?
I think it's cool. Just like you, I'm very excited to see the black Sixers jersey, the black Timberwolves jersey. That's gonna be fire. I believe the Memphis one. I I know it's been a few years, but they have somewhat recently done the teal jerseys. So I think just to switch things up a little bit, they decided to use
I
these
think,
black ones.
if I'm not mistaken, I think they did wear these jerseys recent too.
Oh, really?
I think they did, yeah. It might have been, I think they did. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they did. Yeah.
Okay, so if they did, then yeah, I probably would have liked the teal ones as
Yeah.
well. That one's a lot more fire. Uh,
A lot more.
I will disagree with you on the Cavs one. I do prefer the navy blue over the red one, but
Mm.
you make a good argument with LeBron wearing the red ones during his first game, and then the green Mavs one. I've never been a big fan of this, so I could care less. How would you rank these jerseys? Like, uh, like what in order? Like let's rank them.
Okay, so I think that number one will be a tough debate between the Sixers and the Timberwolves one. I'm not gonna lie though. Low key, I might give the Timberwolves one the edge just because I really love that font and the Christmas tree trim. So I would say Timberwolves one, Sixers two, um, Cavs three, Mavs four, Grizzlies five. How would you rank them?
All right, a little different. I would do Sixers one. I think I just prefer the colors there more, the black, the red, the gold. Uh, then I'll do the Timberwolves, even though you made a great point. The font is fire. The Christmas tree trim is fire. I just always preferred the Sixers one. That is one of the greatest jerseys of all time. But so are those Timberwolves ones. Third, I would say the Cavs. Fourth, Memphis, and then five, Dallas. Again, just not a fan of that one. I feel like it's very weird seeing Dallas in green. That always throws me off.
Yeah. So to say the least, our list is a little bit different, but somewhat similar. Um, I feel like it's only a matter of like we agree which ones are the best. It's just a little bit of a slop sequence, and we also somewhat agree with like the ones at the bottom, just a different sequence as well. So overall, not bad. Um, yeah, I think that there are some teams. I will say this: it's been long because like we did see the Timberwolves bring back those Garnett jerseys. I think like 2018, 2019 season, the year when they had Derrick Rose on the team. So that was cool. I'm definitely very glad they're bringing them back. Um the Sixers jersey, I don't think they've ever brought back as a throwback ever since the last time they actually wore them. So definitely happy they're bringing those back. Same for the Cavs one. Um yeah, to say the least, I like that they're doing this. The classic jersey returns for games. Another thing, I do think it's cool that for these classic jerseys, not only do they have the Nike swoosh, but they also have the Nike word text on the top. I low key like that, to be honest. Some may say it's too busy. Me personally, I like the look of that over a simple swoosh.
It's a nice touch for
So
sure.
yeah, that's a nice touch. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe the Lakers can have throwback edition one of these years, and maybe it'll be like the gold jerseys from the Kobe era. That would be cool to see those jerseys come for a return. Honestly,
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else you want to talk about, or should we just end it here?
I think we pretty much covered everything. Yeah, I to say the least, there was a lot more news than usual, but I think it came in at the perfect time, knowing there was only one game to cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think aside from that, we have covered everything. Just want to say, per usual, thank you guys to all the viewers for the constant support for our channel. We greatly appreciate it. If you guys like our content, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow us on all platforms. Um, Obviously, season's winding down. We're now in the NBA Finals. You do not want to miss our content because we will keep you guys updated on the loop, and we will come up with fun games throughout the summer and special edition videos. So you do not want to miss that. Um, Make sure to stay tuned and look forward what's to come because we got that heat coming. Anyways, thank you guys per usual, and Memo, anything you would like to add on?
Not much. You basically got it. I guess if you're on YouTube, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. If you're following on audio platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and review. Follow the socials. I've been making more TikToks, more shorts. I in this series specifically, in this final series, I've been covering every game now. So I've only done one game, obviously, but people are enjoying it. People are subscribing more and more, getting more views on TikTok than usual. So I think that's really good. Our TikTok's been growing. We have more than 50 followers there, which is good for our standards. On YouTube, we have like 42 subscribers, so hopefully that will grow as well. Um, but yeah, I've been having fun making those. Um, so check them out if you're interested. Again, check out our socials. But yeah, I guess we're done here. A reminder just to subscribe as well because during the off season we have a lot of ideas that I'm excited to uh, tackle once the off season starts. So you're not gonna want to miss it. But yeah, I'll end it here. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next week. Goodbye.